Husband stays out all night and hides his phone. My husband does this thing every few months that drives me nuts. He stays out after work and keeps telling me he's coming home soon and drags it out for hours, then 80% of the time he doesn't come home until the next morning. He does it maybe once every 3-4 months. The last time he did it was the night before we left for a wedding anniversary vacation, and he ended up sick the whole vacation recovering from the alcohol and cocaine he did with his friends, and promised it wouldn't happen again. It did last night. He texts every hour or so that he bumped into so and so and will be leaving soon, or he's on his way, etc. Now I really don't care if he stays out after work. Most days he does, for an hour or two. I know he likes to sit down and relax and unwind, and I'm okay with that. But it drives me crazy that he can't just tell me when he plans to stay out all night. He texted me at one point last night that he got punched in the face breaking up a fight at the bar and was dealing with the cops and then would come home. Then I don't hear from him for 2 hours. I was worried he got in another fight or the cops locked him up, but no, he went to another bar. Then closing time comes and he says he's coming home and doesn't. 2 hours later texts that he's at his friend's house with them and their girlfriends and will be home at some point. I could have just gone to sleep at a normal time, but he dragged it out so long. I woke up this morning and he wasn't home but sent a text apologizing. When he finally came home he apologized and said he lied because he never intended on coming home and wanted to have fun with his friends, and he doesn't know why he lied. Apparently they stayed up all night doing coke and talking, and he ignored my texts because he didn't want to deal with it. I felt like he wasn't being fully honest, so I asked to see his phone. I've never done that before, but he got defensive and put his phone under his body in the bed and told me to fuck off if I don't trust him, and he's not hiding anything, but I'm being paranoid. He has told me how he cheated on most of his past partners when he's drunk, so it doesn't make me feel secure when he stays out all night. His phone is on Do Not Disturb every time he's around me, and in the past we had issues with him exchanging info with women but not telling them he had a partner. Any advice? Edit. Also, if it matters, we've been married for 3 years but dated on and off for 10, no kids. What advice are you looking for? He doesn't respect you, lies to you, stays out all night. He's not going to change, so you have to decide, is this how you want to live or not? If it is, then do nothing and let him stay out all night in peace. If you feel like you deserve better and aren't willing to be with a lying man that stays out all night doing drugs and godliest who else, then contact a lawyer and leave him. My advice is leave. You will be so much happier without this drama and anxiety in your life. Trust me, your life can be so much better. You are risking your health as he is likely cheating and could be exposing you to deadly, lifelong STIs. Do you really think he's thinking of condoms while drunk off his $1 and high as a kite? You are rug sweeping and are wearing rose-colored glasses. Your husband is a terrible communicator, has something to hide, or both. The fact that he doesn't keep you updated with what he's doing, even if it's important that you know, is not a great sign. I would assume there's something on his phone that he doesn't want you to know about. If you aren't worried about your safety doing this, I'd sit him down and ask for an explanation of his behavior, no bullshit. It sounds like he's going to try and deny that he's acting weird, but stick to your guns. If he's not willing to have an open conversation, you should consider trying to get him to go to therapy or reconsider the relationship. Edit. It could also be that he has a worsening or serious drug problem and wants to hide it. Wouldn't it be better to be alone and or with potential for an actual loving relationship than to remain in one where you're being emotionally abused? Leave. Before you end up having kids with him. Sigh. I feel like you are me 6 years ago. My husband used to pull exactly the same crap. It wasn't often, but it was often enough to drive me up the wall. The straw that broke the camel's back is a very, very long story, but I left. I packed an overnight bag and went to a friend's. I was out about 10 days and I said the only way I would go back was if he quit the drink and drugs, and if it ever happened again, that was it for good. I had divorce papers drawn up, but they've sat in my desk since then. It's a really, really hard road, but for me it worked. The only advice I can give you is communicate x1000. Be clear about what you need, what you want, and what you hope for. Best wishes, and if you need anything, reach out. Why do you want to be married to him? My mum gave me a deadline to get married. My boyfriend, 27M, and I, 28F, have been together for 3 years and bought a house together last year. My mum gets super agitated over the fact that we aren't married yet, and in a recent phone call, she became pushier than she's ever been. In her opinion, we were supposed to get married last year, right after moving out together. In the end, she basically said, You're turning 29 soon. Tell your boyfriend you have to get married by the end of this year at the latest. Now, I'm really not loving the idea of forcing a proposal. My boyfriend and I have already agreed we both want to get married, and he has already said he has some plans in mind about how he wants to propose. I obviously want him to keep the details a secret. I love surprises. So I don't know when exactly he plans to propose. It may not be as soon as this year. No matter how many times I tell my mum that we want to do this our way, she insists that her way is correct. I know she's getting pressure from our conservative Christian relatives, and this makes her uncomfortable, but I don't see her discomfort as a good reason to get married this year. My mum and I are really close, and normally she is a lovely person, so I don't want to do anything drastic like cutting off communication. But I am getting exhausted hearing this kind of talk from her over and over again. My main dilemma is whether I should even tell my boyfriend what has been happening. He vaguely knows that my mum's been nagging me, but he doesn't know exactly what she said. I don't want him to feel pressured or cause tension between him and my mum, and I certainly don't want him to rush into proposing just because my mum says so. On the other hand, I don't want him to be blindsided if my mum brings it up to him and starts trying to pressure him directly. Should I tell him what's been going on, or would that make things worse? TLDR. My mum told me that I have to get married by the end of this year at the latest. Should I let my boyfriend know what she's been saying, to give him a heads up, in case she tries to pressure him directly, or would telling him cause more tension and stress? Every time she brings it up, "Mom, we're going to do this on our own timeline. Please don't bring it up." Then, when she continues, "I've asked you to stop and you're not, so I'm going to go now. Goodbye." Repeat until she either stops or you no longer talk to her. It's up to her. Tell your boyfriend that your mom is being unreasonable but you set boundaries. Ask him to let you know if she says anything to him so you can deal with her directly. Tell your mom you're giving her a deadline of yesterday to shut up and mind her business. If she fails to comply, contact will reduce greatly. You're 28 years old, you've got to stop letting your mom push you around like this. This is your life, not her life, so the only timetables which matter are yours and your boyfriend's. Why the fuck would you care if done aunts and cousins are in whatever kind of tizzy? They're crazy isn't your problem. If you two are happy, make your own schedules and tell her to mind her own business. Why are you even letting your mother keep telling you this? Hang up on her then and there if she can't cut it out. The first time she brings it up in any given conversation, firmly assert your boundary, e.g., "Mom, that's between me and my BF, we will decide our own timeline." Each time she brings it up after that, just laugh at her and change the subject. But, if she won't let it drop, enforce your boundary, e.g., "Okay mum, well it was nice talking to you but that's not up for debate so I am going to go now," and end the convo. If you talk about it to him that's fine, just don't make it sound like you think it's on him to respond or change it. No hand banana no. 100% tell him emo. He should know what's going on and you should be skilled enough to ease any pressure. Yes, tell him. Assuming that one day in the future you two will actually get married, she will be his family. So it's almost kind of an obligation for you to let him know what he's getting into here. Plus, you're right, she could pressure him directly and it would be unfair to him not to prepare him. Girlfriend of 5 years possibly cheating with one of my best friends. Back in October, my girlfriend told me that she has a bit of a crush on one of our mutual childhood friends. At the time I thought nothing of it. I trust her, and finding other people attractive, and even having little crushes, is a normal part of a relationship. Things got weird this week. On Thursday the two of them went on a sunset hike in the mountains. I was invited but couldn't go because of a recent injury. Felt like I would come across as the jealous boyfriend if I said anything, so I just let them go. Then last night a group of us went out drinking. She was constantly beside him taking selfies, grabbing his arm while laughing and generally being flirtatious. Then afterwards, we all walked to get food but they disappeared and went for a walk on the beach for 20 minutes. We're all in the same small group of friends, so saying anything could cause big complications. I don't believe anything has happened so far and maybe never will. How should I approach this? Update. Appreciate all of your input. On the advice here, I talked to a friend that was there last night. They didn't seem to think they were flirting but admitted he wasn't paying much attention to them. So at worst the flirting wasn't obvious and hopefully it was just all in my head. He did admit the walk was weird though. To the people calling me a doormat, I've been with her for years and have only begun to have suspicions in the last few days. I don't plan on taking any of the nuclear options suggested here, but I do appreciate the input. I'm planning on confronting her tomorrow night about it, so hopefully I'll get a definitive answer at the very least. I think you 100% know what is going on. She is doing exactly what you know is happening. Time to speak up and end things. So she had crush on that guy and she flirted with him and had her fun right in front you? Come on. Up, you gotta show more self-respect than that and not tolerate this shit. Dude, where's your self-respect? First, this dude is not your best friend. Second, you're deluding yourself. You know something is going on. And finally, you need to dump both of these toxic people from your life. Good luck, mate. There's no possibility about it. She's cheating on you. Not sure how you're fixed to end it with her, but it's definitely time to have it out with her. If I were you, I'd be petty and find a girl to go hiking with so face with hand over mouth. If you really don't trust your gut on this one, ask the other people there. They had to be feeling the awkward vibe. If you notice the touchy-feely and disappearance, I'm sure others did too. This is personal disrespect, right in front of you. If the others are truly your friends, this shit will piss them off too, and they'll have your back. She should be an ex-girlfriend and he should be an ex-friend. That's not a best friend. You know, having a crush is one thing but acting on it is another. Other friends noticed anything? Did you talk with them? Always trust your gut. Confront both of them about their behavior, relationship. Perhaps you will have to cut off both of them, maybe even entire friend group if they side with them. I think I have ed at 19 and my girlfriend wants to do it ASAP, but I can't do it. I am in a good relationship with the girl I wanted, but she is addicted to sex. She excites me, she has a really good body, but I can't get an erection. I get one, but it's not enough, if you know what I mean. Today she got mad BCS, I didn't want to have sex BCS of this. She asked me if I was gay or she doesn't excite me. I am planning to do it TMMR and am willing to take Viagra to do it. Does it work? Do I need to take something else? I need to do it TMMR or I am gonna say goodbye to this relationship. PLS, help me. Edit. We talked on FaceTime and she explained me everything. The problem was that she was anxious that I don't like her in that way. I haven't told her about my problem, but now at least I am know her more. Today in the morning I got my morning wood. Somehow in got it after I pissed, but I don't think it's much of a deal. I never thought that a boner would make my day, but it did. I really am sexually attracted to this girl and she is willing to do it at any time, and now that I realized that it's all in my head, now I just have to be composed and actually enjoy it. I will give up on any pill BCS, I don't think it will help me a lot. Yes, when I wrote this I was very anxious and desperate, but now it wore off. Now it's all on me. Thank you for everything guys, and I will keep you guys updated how it actually went. No one here should give you medical advice, man. You need to see a doctor and have your testosterone levels checked and discuss these issues with them. I can tell you that the stress you and her are putting on you will absolutely affect you when you do try and get intimate. Adding, I am absolutely not telling you to take any medication. However, if you do decide you're going to take Viagra or any medication that's not prescribed to you, please research the proper dosage, side effects, and possible adverse effects. I need to do it TMMR or I am gonna say goodbye to this relationship. PLS, help me. Sex should always be fun first. Seeing as an obligation doesn't help anybody. And if she makes you feel like you owe it to her, big red flag. She should understand that it's completely normal to have problems with that sometimes and shouldn't blame you. And if you're so stressed about it, it sounds like performance anxiety. The best way to get that out of the way is to get more comfortable. She can help with that too. If this is your first sexual encounter with another person, you're probably just having performance anxiety. It happens. She needs to be more understanding of it. Try more foreplay and trying not to think too much. If the issue persists, consider seeing a doctor. Please do not take a gas station pill. That's all. Do you watch a lot of porn? Number 19-year-old has ed. Odds are you masturbate to porn too much. If you smoke, stop. If you aren't hitting the gym or exercising, start doing that. If you have high blood pressure, work on getting that under control as well. Finally, as everyone else has said, stop jerking it. If she makes you feel lousy for what's going on, dump her and move on. Performance anxiety. No one here should give medical advice, but I've gone through this myself, and Viagra or Cialis can get you over the hump. Very possible that once you have some success, you'll be all set. Definite side effects to Viagra or Cialis: headache, upset stomach, flu symptoms, and you can't take it if you have certain conditions. Viagra works for about 4 hours. Cialis stays in your system for 36 and gives a longer window.